All right, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining our first Shadow Dark session. So today's going to be a session 0. We've got 3 players. We were planning on 4. We had one that like happened, so we'll be creating characters with 3 of us and kind of see where we are from then. But appreciate you joining us, whether it's live or on YouTube, and hopefully this will help you a little bit if you're interested in getting into Shadow Dark, and you'll kind of get to see a bit of rolling up a character and how that works. We're going to go through that during this session. So for those of you that don't know Shadow Dark and are just kind of here to learn a bit about it, it's a great, in my mind, it's a really cool system created by Kelsey Dion at the Arcane Library, and she has created a lot of content for 5e. And about a year ago, she launched a Kickstarter with her system, which is Shadow Dark. She would tell you, I think, that she took a lot of inspiration from 5e, things like advantage, disadvantage, and a lot of things she really liked about it. But thanks, Bryce, for the follow. Appreciate that. So she took so much of what she liked, but then she also put in some old school feel, like spell casting is different. And you'll kind of hear us go through that as I talk the players through creating characters and the session. But fun system. It's a pretty fast system. And yeah, welcome everyone. And I'll let each of the actual players here introduce themselves. They don't have characters, but I'll at least let them introduce themselves. And Nightmare, if you're here, I'll kick it to you. If you're not, no worries. We'll come back to you. But say anything you want about yourself, where to find you, or just, yeah, anything you want. All right. You might have had to step away for a second. So why don't we go to you, Goatman, and you tell us a little bit about you.
So I usually go online. I usually go with something like the Goatman because there's far fewer handles taken with goat in it than there are with Russ. I'm going to call it a gray-haired gamer, since the term grognard has become loaded with various connotations that don't always fit. Started gaming when my sister brought the AD&D books back from college, and that was in the mid '80s. So been about 40 years, and I live in Northern California on a ranch with, strangely enough, a bunch of goats.
Awesome. Well, we're sure glad to have you. And if anyone's listening or watching the stream right now, let us know if sounds are good, if players are too loud, too soft, or any of that. I don't have any background music, but if there are any issues with sound, type in so I can dial things in a bit. So I'd appreciate that. So thanks, Goatman. Appreciate that background. I'm gray-haired like yourself, so it's nice to have a fellow compatriot. And Bryce, why don't we turn it over to you for those that don't know who you are?
Hello, I am Bryce Loves Gaming. You might know me if you use Fantasy Grounds from the Fantasy Grounds channel. I'm the streaming specialist for Smiteworks. So, yeah, you can go see me every Friday over there at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And both Bryce and Goatman, neither one of you have played yet, right? Is this going to be your first session at all with whether in Fantasy Grounds or in person for Shadow Dark?
I've never played Shadow Dark.
Awesome.
I've been playing quite a bit over the last 2 months, 3 months, when I sort of ran across the system. I missed the Kickstarter because I hadn't heard about it, but I don't remember how I stumbled across it. Probably off of someone on YouTube, and looked into it, and yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I keep having the impulse to add a rule or homebrew something, and I keep fighting it down because they really did try to strangle as many extraneous rules as possible from the core system, and I've been pretty impressed with it. It flows really, really quite well.
Awesome.
As long as you aren't committed to any one character surviving for a long period of time.
I think you're right. I think that's one of the keys. So, well, it's great. It's great to have someone that's played the system a bit, because that way, when I make all the mistakes that I'm sure I will make, you can help correct me. So I like that. That's awesome.
And so far, the one truism is that if you happen to roll really good stats, you tend to die really quickly because you get overconfident. If you roll, the character I've had that survived the longest has a net -3 in their attribute modifiers. And he's so careful, he actually survives.
I love it. No, I think that's fate, right? I love it. So, all right. Well, let's. I'll wait in Nightmare. I'll try to keep mentioning. Let me know if and when you're back. But for now, we'll roll a little bit and we'll catch him up as he has a chance to get back onto the stream. But
I'm back here.
awesome. Thank you, Nightmare. Just real quick, whatever you want to say about yourself, and as little or as much, or where to find you, or any socials. Just maybe just say something quickly about yourself, and then we can kind of launch in.
Well, not much to say. Just like a forever DM, mainly just in Dungeons and Dragons, like 4th and 5th edition lately, as far as online goes. But I go way back to the basic and 1st and 2nd edition for everything. But just a forever DM for the most part.
Awesome. Well, I know you've done some conversions. You helped out. I know the team a bit on Shadow the Demon Lord. So appreciate the work you do. There's a lot of us that are in the background a bit on developing. So thanks for some of the work you've done as well. So, all right. So
yeah, I've done a lot of conversions for Fantasy Grounds here since I started up back in 2015 with it. I've done stuff for Smiteworks and for Rob Toohey, and as well as Grim Press. So been around.
Awesome. Love it. So let's make sure you guys have, before we kind of launch in, when you first launched Fantasy Grounds, you should have seen what's called a message of the day pop up. And if you have that up, that's what I'm going to walk through. And if you don't have that up, first of all, does anyone not have the message of the day up right now? And I can explain how to get there.
I've got it.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. And sure. So when you look at the message of the day, make sure that you've gone into your modules and you've opened the Shadow Dark player module, because you're going to have that open for us to roll up stats. So does everybody have the module open for Shadow Dark?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Check.
Awesome. Check. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll up 2 characters each. And the way I'd like to do it, I think it's better if we just do an FG in Fantasy Grounds to show people. But probably the easiest thing to do is whatever dice you have at the bottom of your screen, if you left click and hold on the D6, and then if you right click twice, you're going to see 3 dice now. That if you keep your left mouse button down and hold it, you'll see 3 dice. If you drag that and drop it into a hotkey at the very bottom of your screen, you're going to see like some gray rectangles. If you drop it there, then you'll see 3 dice. And when we start rolling characters, all you have to do is hit that button and it's going to roll 3d6. That's kind of the easiest way to get ready. And if we do that, what I'd like is, everyone got that and got those hotkeyed?
It's not hotkeying, but I'll figure it out.
All right. I mean,
it's lost behind my sys tray.
It might be like you might just not see it at the bottom of your screen. But so that what I'd like to do, and if I'd rather just do this in order on screen, and what we'll do is we'll roll 6 in a row, and I'm going to start with how people are on my screen, which is Nightmare, if you don't mind. But Nightmare, what I'd like to do is roll 3d6 6 times in a row, and those are going to be your stats, and then we'll pop open a character and have you start a character too.
Okay, here we go. First blood.
I like it. All right. So since you did get at least a 14 or above in 1, then we're going to then you keep the character. If you have less than a 14, you can re-roll, but go ahead, and you probably know this. This is more for the stream, Nightmare, but if you go into character on the far right of your screen and start a character by hitting the plus sign, then your character will open. I'm going to follow along on screen so that people can watch a bit on my screen. But if you open your character, then you can go ahead and make sure I have the right character open. Then under your attributes, if you can put those down in order, and from strength down. Okay, you got it. So all right, so that's.
Sorry, do you want me to wait for the instructions?
No, you're good. You're totally good. I just want to make sure everyone's good. All right, so you've got those rolled up. So if you, for now, Nightmare, probably the best thing to do is if you click on the character creation. We don't have to go through all the Ancestries class with everyone unless everyone really wants to do that. If you open your character creation link, you can keep going and go to your ancestry as your class, and you can start filling that out and follow the character creation while the rest of us roll. And then I'll just jump in and help people if they need it. Once we get this character done, we'll do the same with a new character. So keep going on your character creation, and I'm going to have the next person start their rolls. All right.
Good.
1 second. All right. So Goatman, let's have you roll your 3d6 stats.
Still, haven't made the macro for it yet, so.
That's right. You can like left click and hold on the D6 and then right click twice. And then literally you just throw that whole set of dice in chat. It'll roll 3d6 and you can just do that 6 times. It's almost as easy as the hotkey. It's all good.
It's much slower. So, oh wait, there we go. Hold on. I think the hotkeys just showed up.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes they're just a little hard to see. It's all right. Once you have that hotkey, it's super easy. Uh-oh.
Excellent.
All right.
Oh, there's the 14 at the end.
In charisma of all stats. So if you open, so on the far right of your screen under player, you'll see a link, a hotkey button to characters. Okay, that must be Nightmare. I forgot it's going to roll on screen. That's all right. But if actually, I guess we probably should wait until, but no problem at all. I totally forgot that. So Goatman, if you go up to characters, and you click on that button, then it should open a character selection screen. And then if you hit the add item at the bottom, which is a plus sign, the bottom right, that'll open a new character sheet for you.
So under character, I see ancestries, background, classes, spells, and talents.
No, you want to go under the player tab, and there's a button that says characters under that.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So once you do that, there's a little plus sign that's like a blue color. Or not a blue color, I'm sorry. There's the up arrow is a blue color, and then there's a black and white add item plus sign that'll add a new character for you. Looks like you got it.
Go.
And then just literally type in, you can just click into the cell for strength, dex, con, into each one and type in your numbers for each of your stats.
I'm guessing this guy's probably going to be a bard then.
I don't know.
14 is being.
But is there a bard? There's a fighter. I mean, I'm trying to even think in the base core rule set here. I'm not sure there's a fighter, thief, priest, wizard, right?
Oh yeah, and then they added bard and ranger as their stretch goal classes. But if you don't want to use those, that's cool.
I just don't have them in. We don't have them in yet.
Oh, no worries. And this guy's gonna have a rough go of it.
That's why we're doing 2. That's why we're doing 2.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any issues as you're typing them in. But once you get those in, we'll let Bryce roll.
All right.
All right. All good.
I'll type them in. Bryce can go ahead. Oh, because I got to write them down here because otherwise they'll disappear. 8, 10, 7, 11, 9, 14.
All right. I'm going to clear these out for a second. And I think nightmares should already be okay. So I'm going to clear those out. And Bryce.
I forgot to write them down before you cleared them.
Oh,
I guess they're lost for all time, and I'll have to go again.
Nice. You did write them down, right? You were telling me just okay. I was like, that was good though. That was good. All right, Bryce, I'm gonna let you do your 6 stats and see what you get.
The only way that would have been funnier is if he actually didn't write them down.
Right, exactly.
All right.
Welcome everybody watching. I appreciate it. Ooh, I like your dice. Now, Bryce, it's up to you. I mean, you got some interesting. Oh, go ahead.
I only see 4.
You should see 6. I see 6. I don't know if it's still delayed. I wonder if it's delayed.
I think it's my internet.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, I would say that, look, you got some decent scores, but you do not have a 14 or higher. You are welcome to throw those aside and re-roll if you want to just re-roll your stats.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
Sounds good. Let me clear it out for you, and then you can re-roll. All right.
I'm rolling them slower this time.
I tend to just do them all. Oh my gosh, look at that. A lot of, you can get a high one now. It's not a bad roll. You got 5. Oh yeah, there you go. That's not a bad. That's
Yeah, that's
actually
not
You're
pretty
an old
bad.
good.
charismatic party. The dice saint must know who we really are.
Yeah, right. That's true. You guys have some high charisma stats here. All right, Bryce, I'll let you write those down before we go to the next step.
All right. Should I plug them into my character now or just
Yeah.
save them?
Go ahead and plug them into your character. Yeah, it's not like
Okay.
it'll update your stats, and you don't need to worry about racial bonus or ancestry bonuses and such. So you're good.
Okay. Drag those over and we're good.
All right, excellent. So, all right, I'm going to open character creation now, and we'll go through here. So you've done the stats. So now let's do this in order because I think it's going to roll, but yeah. So I think Nightmare, what have you done so far? Have you drug your ancestry on?
Yeah, ancestry, background, and class.
Okay, great. So, Goatman, if you open the character creation link that is in the message of the day, you can follow along where we're at and what we're doing each step of the way. So if you have that character creation open, and if you don't, I can drop a link, but then click on your ancestries link, which is item 3 of the character creation, and then select whichever ancestry you want to be. And then you can just drag and drop the link next to the name like goblin or elf. So left click, hold, and drag and drop it on your character sheet, and it will update your character sheet.
Your story entry doesn't open. It might not be shared.
Thank you. Let me do that right now. Always something. Let me open these. Share. That's interesting. Where is? Huh.
Yeah, and when I hover over that black arrowhead, it turns from the normal pointer to a hand, but then all right.
I just so they all now should be clickable. Thanks, Bryce, for telling me that.
Nope, it's still
No?
not. Yeah, I think the story entry itself needs to be shared to your players.
Let's try that.
There you go.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that for the rest of these. But you guys were able to open the audio link. That's interesting. So okay.
That's because that one went to an external source. It wasn't a
Yep.
It wasn't an in Fantasy Grounds window that is locked to the GM.
Everyone bear with me. First time using Fit. No, I'm just kidding. But that's great. So now when you open the character creation, so if everyone has that open, so again, Goatman, if you click on that link next to ancestries, and I don't think I need to share that, then you can pick your ancestry and drag and drop it on your character sheet.
Is there a way in Fantasy Grounds to have windows pop out or separate from the main frame so I can use them on a second monitor, or no?
Unfortunately not.
What you can do with everything, and it doesn't exactly help what you're asking, but you can hotkey virtually any link. So if you ever want to at least have them down at the bottom and get back to them very quickly, you can do that. But that's the best as far as like a multi-screen thing.
And I seem to have managed to hide my character sheet. So there it is. It's just hiding behind here. All right.
And if you want to think a bit, which is no problem at all, we can. I just didn't.
Good.
Okay, you got that. All right. So we've got that. So Bryce, go ahead and figure out and you guys can talk too if you want to share what you're doing, and we'll make another character too. But if you guys want to try to make diverse parties, you're welcome to talk, or if you want to do it all on your own, that's fine as well. Just I'll do this if I can.
That was a D10, not a D20.
The goat man.
20. I used to be a wizard's apprentice.
What was that? What was that for?
Neat.
I was rolling background.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And look, if everyone, maybe it's easier now, as long as you guys can scroll up and chat. If you want to follow the character creation rather than me having to stop everyone, go ahead and you can follow the character creation, and then we can, as people have questions or whatever, just ask me, but go ahead and keep filling out your character sheet. And I'm going to pop you guys into a party sheet. So if you want to start looking at players and what they are, you can. So I'm going to move you guys into the combat tracker, and then I'll make sure you guys can look at the party sheet if you want. But yeah, just keep going with your character creation and ask me any question you have.
My only question is what classes everyone else is looking at.
I'm going to be a thief.
And priest here.
All right.
I don't know if my strength is high enough to be a fighter, but I guess we'll take fighter. I could take a wizard, but I think there's a 0% chance of us surviving if it's a thief, a priest, and a wizard.
I love it. I love it. Now, and like I said, we'll see how far we get this session, but we'll definitely try to get a fourth at least for the future.
To town after the first session, put up a sign saying, "Wanted
Exactly.
meat shield for fun and profit."
Right. And welcome everyone again that's here. We're just doing a little character creation, so might be a little boring.
Well, I would have had more than one hit point if it weren't for the -2 con modifier.
Oh, right. Ooh, ouch. And some
Are you
of
gonna be
the
house ruling that we start off at max hit points? Please.
Oh
please?
no!
no way, man. Got to do it
'Cause I rolled a
straight.
1.
Oh no. Wow. Yes, you're right. I see two. Now remember, there's going to be two characters, so I'll let you guys choose which one you start with. But you have plenty of pre-gens if we go through several party members, so we'll be all right.
We've got Levitov Ever, who's a halfling thief who started out being apprenticed to a wizard, but just he could fake it until he couldn't, and yeah, he just didn't have the smarts to make that fly. But
Gotcha.
doesn't really have the quickness of finger to make the whole thief thing fly either. But at least as a halfling, he can turn himself invisible, and that helps.
That does help. That's something I asked Marcus to add, that for some of the powers, if we can start adding some powers that we can tick off the number of uses. So hopefully in a future release, we'll be able to have that. And don't forget, as you're rolling your talents, if you get something like roll stat increase, go ahead and increase your stat itself. And then you might want to make a note on if you open your character sheet under abilities, you'll see like talent section, and next to stat level increase, you can always put parenthetically like strength or whatever stat you increase so you don't forget. And then just go ahead and increase your stat on the main tab, and just if it's a 12, just move it to a 14 and it'll update.
So what tab has rolling for talents?
Well, it should have rolled immediately. So if you open your abilities tab, it probably already rolled for you. And if you look at your abilities tab under talents, I think yours says stat level or stat increase, if I'm in the right character. Or maybe I'm looking at somebody else's.
For me, it just shows the characteristics.
Okay. Do you have a name yet of your character or not yet?
Yes, he's a Levitov Ever.
Okay, I'm looking at that one. Okay, so I see when I open your abilities tab, I see racial class talents, and then I see talents. and under talents, it says stat increase level 1. Do you see that?
Yeah. No, I said it's not. How are you opening the talents?
Sorry, the tabs.
way
I'm
off on the
sorry.
right here.
Yeah, there's little tabs. Yep, sorry about that. Yep. And so you can just literally next to it type in, in parentheses, whatever you want to increase for your stats.
I'm tempting to update to up my charisma, but I think I'll go with dexterity, so I actually have a +1 dexterity modifier.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Sexy.
That's right. And the one thing I will do for you, give me a minute to open a character. And I think I have this coded. I did. Yeah, I do. All right. So under so Goatman, I'm going to add a power under your spells tab. This should work. I'm going to drag and drop it. So this is backstab. So what that'll do is it will add, and we'll have to make sure the damage is correct. I can update that, but you'll be able to.
I do not have a spells tab, just so you know. I have main, abilities, inventory, and notes.
Sorry, if you go to your main tab, now look at your main tab and you'll see a spell section. It's not a tab, you're right. It's just a section. And let me look at that again. +1 die of damage. So yeah, once we get your equipment, we can make sure we have that die right. I don't remember if it's a D6 or a D4. That might have to change.
It depends on the weapon you're using. So,
yes.
So if you're using a dagger or a short bow that does D4, backstab adds a D4. If you're using a short sword, you get a D6. So.
Yeah. So you'll have that, and I'm also going to drag on just so you have it, a stabilize check that I created. So that way, it's just on your character sheet. If you ever need to stabilize someone, you'll have that. So, all right, how's everyone else
Stabilizing
doing?
someone's what is euphemism for going through their pockets for loose change, right?
I suppose you could look at it that way. Yes. All right, so we got cure wounds. All right, there's the cleric. Excellent. Phalorn. And I will add stabilize to you as well. Only a few of those I did. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Stabilize. There we go. And in the future, I'm going to try to see if we can create a powers tab or that's separate from spells, so it doesn't. You don't lose it if you roll under. Right now, we'll just have to manually turn it back on if you don't pass your stabilize check. All right, let's see. So go ahead as you guys are adding your information and all of your talents, you can also add your roll for your equipment. I don't think it rolls for you. So you're going to roll 2d6 and multiply by 5 to determine how much gold you have for your starting equipment. So you can do that as well. And I think if you're looking for where the equipment is, if you look on the right-hand rail again under the campaign section, there'll be a section for items. And if you open items, then you can filter that by different groups: armor, items, weapons. So you should be able to determine what you want to buy. And as you drag onto your character sheet, it'll just automatically deduct the gold, but you're going to have to manually put the gold onto your character sheet after you roll for the gold. So I know that was a mouthful, but I can help you if you get confused.
As every good thief should, I start with I got my boxcars on the starting gold.
Wow!
Yeah, I wish I rolled that good.
Wow, that's awesome. And let's see, what else do we have? Bryce, what did you end up going with? A fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking.
In Shadow Dark, how many copper are in a gold?
It's the usual. It's the 10 10 10.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And remember, I know everyone's probably read enough about this to know, but there is a lot of need for light. So make sure that you don't skimp on the light. All right. Yeah, thanks everyone. This session, we might jump into it, but we're going to be rolling up 2 characters. So I'll try to look at characters as they roll them up. We've got a priest, and maybe I'll just do this so it's easier. Put this down here, and I'll bring their characters up so you can see them as they're creating them. And we'll pull up Forlorn
and related to light.
Yeah.
Because Shadow Dark harkens back to the older sort of resources are constrained because you're down in the dungeon. Tracking ammunition and things is something that this game does because your gear slots are precious.
They are. They are. And as Bryce, you'll get the hauler feature. So depending on your strength, you'll have the ability to carry more items than your compatriots for sure. All right, stabilize. All right, we got some short bows coming up. Nice, I like it. And Nightmare, one thing, well, okay, so I think you might have already seen this, but one of the things, if you look at just for everyone, your notes tab, if any of your talents have effects that should be on your character sheet, it should show up on that effects tab in brackets. So like, I know you've seen this Nightmare probably, but you have spellcast :1, which is going to give you a +1 on all spells you cast. And
it was actually a choice, so I got rid of the other one that I
good.
didn't choose.
And I think right now it might show them both, right? So I'm glad you took one of them off. But yep, you got it. +2 to wisdom. Nice. Wow, you got 18 wisdom. Holy moly, that's great.
The only stat worth looking at. So just don't pay attention to the rest.
Yeah, right. 4 decks. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm just looking at talents.
Look like it doesn't take cash off or show how much cash items are. So I can just look that up. I can go
So here's what you should, if it didn't, as long as you have, I thought it did actually, but it looks like you're right now that I'm looking at you dragging and dropping on it. For some reason I thought it did, but yeah, you will have to manually do it.
It only does that with the parcels because it's got a negative number in there for gold.
Ah, that's right. That makes sense. So yeah, you'll have to manually take that out. And then everyone probably sees this, but in the inventory tab, you will see the number of slots you have and the number in use. So most of you will have a 10 unless you have a feature that allows you to go higher than that.
I've got 13.
Actually, it's your strength. I think it's 10 or your strength. So let's see what yours.
The other thing it doesn't seem to do is, like for the arrows, it shows, one arrow is 0.05 slots, but when I up the quantity to 20, it still stays 0.05. And I up the quantity to 21, and my slots used stayed at 8, so it doesn't seem to be calculating quantity. But that's cool.
Yeah, probably one we'll have to. I'll make a note of and talk to the team about. All right, looking. Yeah, slots are a big deal. So, Bryce, you don't have a name yet, do you? I see your.
No, I don't.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Yep. So you do get. Let's see, hauler. Yeah, you add your Constitution modifier if positive to your gear slots. So you've got a con of 12, so it gave you it gave you +1. And I think that was onto your strength, which is 12. So yeah, that's why you have a 13. Even one slot is pretty precious, man.
All right, we'll be Gallon.
I like it. It reminds me of what was it, Rufus and Gallant from the, God, I'm really dating myself now, the highlights that you used to see in the doctor's office. I think it was like Gallant was the good kid and Rufus was the bad kid. I guess I'm old. Let me know how everyone's doing, and if you have other questions. Gallon, I was thinking Gallant, but I'm gonna give you a stabilize check. It's just a power, so if somebody falls unconscious, you can roll a stabilize check to try to stabilize them.
Cool.
Yeah. And it looks like, so Gallon, you and Phalorn were both elves. So Gallon, with an elf, you get the ability to either get a +1 bonus to attack rolls with a ranged weapon or a +1 bonus to spell casting checks. So if you go to your notes tab right now, it gives you both under character effects. So you just have to decide and delete one of them.
Yeah, we definitely want that spell casting on a fighter.
Right? Yeah. That makes sense.
You'll make every spell roll you every
I
attempt to cast
absolutely
you ever
will. I'll never fail a spell roll. And because I have weapon mastery, I also added that onto my longsword.
Exactly. Perfect. And if anyone else needs to do that, I can show them how. But yeah, that's great. And one thing, if you change your effects, and Bryce, I'll have to talk to Marcus about this, but if you change your effects on your notes tab, I think I'll pull you off the combat tracker and pull you back on, because I think but it's no big deal. No big deal at all. But there we go. Now it's showing. Yeah. And let's see, languages, you might have to, I don't remember. I'll have to look at the character creation notes. You might have to create or drag on. Well, no, I think it should update your languages. Phalorn, did you have to drag on?
No, I didn't add my languages.
You'll have to add those yourself. Okay. And you can look at your, I think Phalorn, in your ancestry, it showed you what languages you got, correct? Nightmare.
Oh, yeah, I got my languages already in there.
But were they, you found them in your ancestry, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so both Bryce and Goatman can take a look at that.
All right. I'm assuming fighter probably doesn't get any languages, but I'll take a quick look just in case.
So as an elf, you get like 3 languages if you open your ancestries. But yeah, you're right. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any coming from.
Yep.
And then grit. We will.
Oh yeah, and that's just going to be a note.
Do that as dexterity.
Okay, cool. You might just have to make if you want to even make I mean, you know how to do this, Bryce, but for the stream, if you want to make a note on your character sheet, just so it shows up as an effect, you can create an effect and drop it on so you don't forget. It'll just be a note, but it's up to you. Because if you're like me, I would always forget. And, oh gosh, I should have been rolling with advantage all this time.
Yeah, looks like halflings only no common.
Okay. And Goatman, you're going to have to, wherever you want to do it, but either like on a piece of paper in front of you, or if you want to make a note, you'll have to make a note that you can turn invisible 3 times. I think it's 3 times a day, but you might just have to track that for now, man.
It's once a day for 3 rounds.
Thank you. I knew I knew there was a 3 in there somewhere. That's right.
But if you want to make it 3 times a day, I won't complain.
I think we'll go with raw.
Right. The interesting thing about the halfling invisibility, at least it doesn't, it doesn't ever specify, because Shadow Dark does a lot of, if there isn't a need to fully define a rule, it leaves it open. But because it's like the main halfling's ability, usually I've seen people not have it be a type of invisible that, you get 3 rounds of being invisible, whether you're, hiding or attacking.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you that's how I'm going to rule it, because I have followed a lot of the Discord, and you're right. She leaves a lot open to whatever the GM wants to do, but given it's only once a day, I'll definitely rule that you stay invisible for no matter what you do for those 3 rounds. All right, how's everyone doing on equipment? Anything that you need help with? I would say so on. Oh gosh, I finally got your name, Goatman. So, but is it pronounced Levitob? Even though I know I can now read what it says, is it Levitob? How I should pronounce it?
You can just call me Levi. That's
Levi.
fine.
All right, Levi. So if you open the main tab and click on the link next to Halfling in your ancestry, if you open that, it shows you that you only know. I think you already said this, but you know the common language. So if you go to your notes tab under languages, you can hit the plus sign and just type in common. And the reason that's helpful is there might be some times during the session that I say something in a different language. And if I type it in chat, if you know the language and you typed it in there, then you'll just be able to read it. But if you don't know the language, it'll just look like garbage to you. But other players might be able to read it if they know like Elvish or Diabolic or something.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, looks like people are getting pretty good. Is everyone, let's see, let's just do this real quick. All right, when you're finished with the current character, I just dropped into chat in Fantasy Grounds a little circle that you can check. And if you just check it once, tell me when you're done. Once everyone's finished, we can move on from these characters and create the next one. But take your time, no rush.
I don't believe I can. I've added the languages, but they're not appearing in chat.
Interesting. Like when you drop it down, that could be
same here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're not.
Let me try this. Give me 1 second. Can anyone understand that or read that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so Gallon and Phalorn should be able to read that, and if you can, it's working. But maybe you can't type yourself. But because you're not the GM, yeah, I think you just can't type in that language. As a player, but you'll be able to read it if I type in it.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, I guess I'll have to look to make sure that's the case. I've never tried to type in a different language myself as a player, but I think it's because that I'm the GM that I can change the language. And Nightmare, you were able to read that in chat too, correct?
Yep.
Okay, good. At least that's
it would be entertaining if the 2 L's just decide to speak Elvish the whole time and leave the poor halfling out of it.
Well, if they want to whisper now, well, actually they can't, because he can't change the language, I guess. I'm going to make a note though, just in case that is a rule set thing. I'm going to make a note for potential fixes.
Because I'm pretty sure in 5e players can, because I would have players talking in whatever their language is all the time.
Sorry, I was listening. I was just writing. Yeah, I was just writing it just in case. So like I said, I'll take some notes and follow up with Marcus.
That might be a bug.
It could be. Hey, you guys are our guinea pigs, since I don't think there's been many sessions run yet on the new rule set. All right. We don't have a wizard, right? Right now. Okay. Wizards get advantage on magic missile casting, so that's something I created as well. Let's see if we have anything else. All right. Good. So yeah, just don't forget in chat, click that circle when you're all done. But like I said, take your time. No hurries at all. And while everyone's doing that, if you are finished, one last thing you can do on your character sheet is if you go to your main, I guess it really doesn't matter what tab, but if you go to your main tab, right next to your name, there's a square box. If you left click on it, you'll have access to your own portraits. And it might be a limited number, but if you want to just pick a portrait for now so we can see you, if you find something else for the next few weeks that you'd rather use for your character, send me the image and I can get it to where it shows up on your character. But for now, click that square box and you should be able to pick some portrait to show what your character looks like.
And do things auto-save? There's no need to save the status of the character sheet, correct?
Correct. And you might have, like I said, a limited set of portraits, but and I think you have to click. There's a little plus sign. We won't need to worry about the. I think you can just click on the main one. I need to pause for a second. I froze my screen. There we go. But yeah, there's a little.
Yeah, I'm blue circling as well.
Yeah, but I think it's just because there's a lot of images, so I'm gonna stop doing that. But you guys do it, and I'll let you select when it unfreezes. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Racer, I see you out there. Just doing character creation. We're almost through the first one. Usually it goes super quick, but I'm just trying to get people up to speed, learn the system. But usually, in general, once you get the hang of it, it's probably 10 minutes to create a character. We're just kind of going through with everyone, doing it in order.
Hey, Gwydion, are you going to be using like that 3D mode
I'm not for this game. The way the map works, I don't think it's going to be necessary. But in the future, I plan to try it out.
Oh, it's just rude. There's only a single halfling image. All these dang humans and goblins and everything else, only one halfling.
But yeah, if you guys find anything that you like on the internet, any image or whatever, and you send it to me in a DM or on our Discord channel, I'll make sure that it gets set up for next week. So if you find an image you love, just, send it to me. All right. We got 2 images. Awesome. So I think we got everyone. I think it looks like we just have one person's not quite done yet, which is fine. But if everyone is okay, yeah, no problem. All good. All good. All right. Well, see, I think we'll get into a session today, guys. But we're going to do another character, so we at least have 2 characters created. The second round will probably go quicker, and we'll go from there. But I'm looking forward to it, to see how this plays. We had one player that.
So you want us to just fold over into doing a second character, or
let's wait till we're all done, because I'll just do the stats in order so we don't blow up the chat. And then once everybody have their stats run, then I'll let you guys run like you did before. But let's just get this one all finished out, and then we'll go back to our rolling.
I'm not even finding any else here.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. Let's see. Well, I tell you what, I might be able to. I don't know how I can share. I think that's always been an issue. So when you click, let me click on. So you click on your portrait, and it might take me a minute to open mine. What do you have access to when you open? Do you have like just the data tab, or do you have D&D 5e? What do you see in portraits?
There are a bunch there.
Okay, you just don't see an elf.
I haven't found one yet.
Well, maybe just pick something that you think is close, and like I said, we can make sure we get you a good picture for next week. Looks like Gallon found one, but maybe he has a lot more on his system. I don't know.
Yeah, that's from D&D 5e. Did you go into? Do you have an FG Fantasy option in your portraits?
Yes, I do. Do you see one in there?
I went in and I see a bunch.
And I know it is specific to everyone's
Yeah, but I don't know if for whatever reason mine is different.
Yeah, exactly.
My fantasy grounds just froze when I went into it. Tried to go into them.
It's okay. It'll probably take a
There's
minute.
a lot of images in it, so that's
Yeah.
probably why.
But yeah, let it go. Let it take a minute. You don't have to escape out of it. All right, man. We're going no music right now, but we'll get some music going later too. Awesome. And like I said, yeah, feel free. We can replace it later. So, all right. Was that the last thing? I know I cleared out chat, Phalorn. Was that the last thing?
I believe so on my character.
Hang on 1 second. I got to ban somebody. 1 second. Hopefully that worked. Sorry, somebody trying to drop a link in my chat to whatever. So I think that worked. I'm such a big streamer. I don't know why people would bother, but it's all good. All right. So sorry, did you ask me a question before I had to pop in there, or where? I think we're good to go on to the next character if everyone's good.
I'm
I believe
good.
so.
Awesome. All right, so let's go back. I'm just going to do it by how I have people in the combat tracker. So I'm going to say Phalorn or Nightmare. Let's have you roll your 3d6 in order. Let me know, guys, if that link got deleted. I tried to delete him right away, but ban him. Okay, got it. Holy moly, Phalorn. Pretty nice rolls, buddy. And you even got your charisma dump stat right. Look at that. That's nice.
Well, yeah, charisma and con, because who needs
Well,
either
yeah,
of those?
that's true. Con is rough, but let me know, Nightmare, once you have that character up and you drop those in, but we'll give you a minute to drop
Might be
those
two
in.
thieves here from the looks of that.
Yeah, it's
Or I
true.
can make it a magic user.
Yeah.
I think I'll go magic user and make 2 spellcasters here.
I like it.
I've got all the numbers, and I got to AFK 1 quick minute if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. No worries at all. So we'll drop these out of chat and we'll go. All right. So Goatman, why don't you, or actually Gallon, we'll go to Bryce next. So Bryce, feel free to roll at will. Fire at will. Ooh, it's 17.
Boom.
Man, another dex. Wow. That's an interesting
Yeah, and
character.
like nothing else. So that one got to be another a thief character.
And you did a
All
fight
thief all the time. You
Yeah.
can also you can also do the like fighter with range, but yeah, thief.
That's what the one that I just made is.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Gotcha. And remember, at
One
least
thing that's
for
cool
yeah, go
with
ahead.
Shadow Dark is they've done a really good job, in my opinion at least, of making each of the ancestries and each of the classes special enough that, I mean, the fighter, holy Moses, does just, they fill the spot of dishing out the damage way. I mean, they did niche protection very strongly, and they made fighters pretty cool.
Very cool.
Ooh, all right.
All right.
I've got all those stats.
Awesome. Okay, I'll clear it out. All right, so Goatman, when you're ready, fire at will. All right, so you got some decent stats, but you're welcome to re-roll again and just start from scratch if you'd like.
Go ahead and scrub them. We'll see what happens.
Sounds good. 1 sec. All right, there you go. Much better. Let's take that one. No, I'm just kidding. I'll erase that one again unless you really want it, and you can roll again. 1 sec.
I say if we were doing an April Fool's and using the roustabout class, maybe.
Right. I forgot she did that for that very reason. That's cool.
Stat requirement is nothing 14 or above. You know.
Is that it? I mean, I know you might be joking, but I know it's supposed to be for the bad rolls.
Yeah, it's, but they actually are. They're not very useful in a small party, but if you have a large party, the roustabout can actually be pretty helpful because one of their main things is the ability to share their luck.
Got it. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, let's see if the third time's the charm, Goatman. Oh my God, that looks low again. Oh, well, you got an 18, and what is that? And I can't even think. Is it intelligence?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. Yeah. That's not bad.
Bless you all, children.
It's actually not too bad, other than the strength. But I mean, hey, gotta have something bad.
Yeah, I think we got a really good priest now.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Write those down.
Sounds good. And then, yeah, once you have those written down, then people can, do their ancestry and character, and the rolls will start coming across. But that's fine. And if you think about if you guys name your character, because I might, well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter. I can drag him on one way or the other, so it's fine. You don't need to.
Would be an interesting. Do you want spellcasters to randomize their spells or pick them?
No, go ahead. I mean, you're welcome to, but I'm fine, totally fine with you picking them.
Okay.
That's what I like about. I mean, there's a fair bit of randomization, but yeah, I still think it's cool to be able to pick your spells.
Yeah, you can throttle it anywhere you want. I mean, it's. That's gonna be funny. Background is barbarian. You have to
cool.
figure out how to make that one work.
Barbarian for the priest, huh? It's all right. And one thing I'll let you guys do is make sure for both of your characters. I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone start with 1 luck token.
I played in one game where the GM didn't do that, and it was shocking how incredibly more lethal that made it.
I'm sure, and look, I want it to be lethal. I want it to be, but I want to have just a little.
I mean, it was like we TPK'd in the first like combat.
I could see that. That's why I'm like, yeah, go ahead and.
And I was like, wow, I had not realized just how critical that luck token was.
Yep. And if you don't see it, it's on. If you go to your main tab, it's right underneath your background, and you can just toggle that control scroll wheel up 1, or just type in a 1, and it'll give you the luck token.
with that. That's kind of silly, but what the heck?
What's that?
I'm gonna be a very elderly half orc
Got
Nice.
it. Nothing wrong with that.
who left the horde because can't keep up anymore.
Got it. All right, so I'm going to pull on the stabilize check to folks, so don't mind me. Banished. I like that. Yeah,
It
and
actually kind of makes sense for being a thief.
yeah, that's true. Actually, I forgot you're a thief. Yeah. And the way I think the way backgrounds work, at least the way I plan on playing them, is if you can roll them or think about how they could benefit your character, it's somewhat like skills. Like I'll give you advantage on certain roles if it fits well into your background.
Exactly. There is no direct mechanical anything tied to the background.
Yeah.
But you described it pretty much spot on. If the player can figure out a way to sleaze their background into something and convince the game master, they can sometimes weasel advantage out of it.
Cool.
It figures my wizard has way more gold than my priest did.
I mean,
Since I
look,
don't have to buy armor and stuff.
I think it's fair, and I don't mind at all. I mean, once we pick who the party is, and you guys can certainly pool at some point, but I would say let's roll up the initial. Let's get it, but then once you're in the dungeon and once you kind of get out, you can certainly pool.
All right. Where did I go to create a new character? That was under player.
You got it.
There.
Yeah. And is Lareth? Is that your second one? Goatman or no?
That would be
No, my second one is
okay.
Dukasoff Hazard.
Okay, so Lareth is gotcha. Okay. Nightmare. And Nightmare, I don't know if you heard, but you're welcome. I think you did this for your priest, but you don't have to randomize your spells. You can certainly pick the spells you want. I think that's what you did.
What I did.
Okay, good. You guys that are watching, if you haven't played Shadow Dark, or there's so much content available out there. Arcane Library has a great Discord, so does Fantasy Grounds. I would encourage you to check it out. I'm looking forward to playing. We'll see where we get. We're down one player, but I at least wanted to get characters created. So we'll see where people are and if they want to jump in. I wouldn't mind. I'd love to jump into a first session. So we'll see where people get.
So it auto rolled the talents on the other character, but doesn't seem to on this one. Is that something I'm not doing right, or do I just how do I roll that?
It's
or
Duke's
maybe
up.
You rolled it behind the scenes, and I just didn't notice.
No, I didn't. So let me look and see what happened. You got your ancestry on abilities. That's interesting. Why?
It may have been because I
here's why.
Half orc. Oh, so, I didn't drag it.
That's right.
Typed it.
That's right. That's it. So yeah. So just go ahead and make sure you put in your stats, and then once you drag it, it'll work.
They might want to lock it down so for things that you need to drag, that you can't open text into it.
Yeah, I think they do that because some people do more of the homebrew, and I think they want. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, let me know if it should still work. Even that's another way. Just get rid of it. Yep, so. Fair enough.
That looks like it took.
And Nightmare, you may know this, but if you take Magic Missile and you don't have to, you get advantage on casting Magic Missile always as a spellcaster, just FYI.
Cool. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep. Whatever that was high. Nice.
Oh, interesting. I thought it had randomly, someone else had rolled as I randomly dragged priest to my class, but
Oh, no.
it
Yeah.
triggered
just,
rolling the various things.
Exactly. Yep.
Stat increase. Oh, choice or stat increase.
Oh, yeah. So that one, just let me know and we can type in.
Yep, haven't done a priest in a while, so I need to go look at what their talent list is.
Yeah, sure. And you probably saw this, but if you click on the priest button or link class, then you can click on table link to priest talents. And then that will show you exactly what their talents are.
Ah, cool.
Yep. And then obviously
so
you don't
gain advantage on cure wounds.
I love it. So once you select cure wounds and you drag it into your spells, I can create that and I can maybe show you in the future, but I should be able to create advantage for you. So it's just a little button you can click right before you click or right before you try to roll cure wounds, so it'll roll with advantage. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but I can create a simple effect.
All right, so it's not. I'm trying to drag. Oh, Ron. I was trying to drag all the spells onto my spells block.
Yeah, that might crash Fantasy Grounds if that even is possible.
It was not.
Good.
All right, and let's see. What are the other first level spells?
Now, Bryce, is that spelled or is that pronunciation John or is it a different pronunciation?
I have no idea.
All right.
I was thinking about going with Han and then
All
very
right.
silent.
I like it. On. And okay, so that one, yep, attack one. All right, let me take this one off. All right. And if anyone else does have any type of bonuses to their weapons, let me know. I know Bryce knows how to change that, but there is a way in your weapons to increase your attack or damage. If anyone's a half orc or if there's any reason you need to update your damage calculation for a weapon, let me know and I can show you how.
Let's see. All the spells are good. So. I haven't run into anything yet where it's been like, oh, like a spell or anything where it's like, oh, well, that's useless. It's like they're all.
That's cool.
They pretty much pruned out anything that.
Yeah, I guess I would say it's not like an overly large spell list, but like you said, I think it's a good spell list. So you're not overwhelmed, but you're not like, gosh, I'm missing what is, critical that I really want. At least that's how I feel when I've read through it.
Yeah, there are a couple things where, it sort of went, that they may have gone a step too far into the whole idea of the fruitful void. But in most cases, it's excellent. Like one of the ones that's a gap that I do sort of wish they defined was some of the conditions. So, for example, ghouls can paralyze you, and hold person, paralyzes the target, but nowhere is the paralyzed condition defined.
Right. No,
So
I did see
it sort of
that.
falls on you as the game master to go, oh, okay, they're paralyzed. That'll give you advantage on attacking them, or you can just instant kill them or what have you. But it means that that's something that the game master has to kind of decide how they want to handle in it, and it can be different from table to table. So,
yep. So,
but again, in 95%, percent of the situations, it's. I think where they haven't had a rule for it, it is advantageous that they've just left it. I mean, it is very much back to the whole, this is a basic scaffolding for the game master, make a call and move on.
Yep, I like it. So I did, and you can test it either now or later, Goatman, but if you look on the front of your character sheet under the main tab, if you click on the little icon that looks like a person with some maybe dots around it, it says effect next to cure wounds. If you click on that, and then if you hit the roll button to cast, it should roll it with advantage. And we can test it later or whenever, but that should work if I coded it right.
So somehow I got protection from evil twice on my spell list. How do I get one of them gone?
So it's not on twice. It's on once, but you have two effects. So it's a focus spell.
Oh,
so
got it.
Yeah. And once we have like the character ready to go, there's underneath spells, there's a rectangle button that says toggle. If you toggle that to combat, it'll clean up your a little bit, but you have to make sure you prepare first. We'll figure this out in the future. So if you click it again and go to preparation and then hit the toggle button to each one, it'll give you those spells in combat. So you got to make sure they're prepared, even though you and I know there's no, like they're always prepared. But now just hit that little circle button to the left of the name of the spell. And once you've done each of those, then when you go to combat, it'll look a lot cleaner. And you can always like open the magnifying glass to see the effects, see the damage, and what have you.
That works.
Got it. And Nightmare, I think I should have put advantage correctly on Magic Missile to you too. So if you guys ever want to test them, you should be able to hit the effect button and then roll, and it should give you advantage automatically with the effect. All right.
So I'm going to probably do a little bit of a meta thing here, even though, because since there's a Minotaur in the name of the thing we're doing, and go ahead and take Thanian as my language, because I think it might be interesting for us to be able to, Thanian being the language of Manicores, Beastmen, and Minotaurs.
Sure.
It might be interesting to be able to read stuff, but
yeah,
if you'd rather have me roll a language, I'm happy to do that.
Nah, that's fine. You can take a language. It's not going to break anything. It's all good. Welcome again, everyone on the stream. Just rolling up some characters, and we'll see how far we get today, and if we jump in.
Shouldn't that be set up to self?
Thought I did. So if I did not, yes, it should. You're right. There. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, that's.
Which tab are gods and things under?
There really isn't, and you can put them, and we might change that in the future. You can put it in your notes tab just under notes, like deity dash whatever. Or you can do
okay.
it.
It was looking like it wanted me to drag something to deity, so I was just wondering where to pull that from. So
No.
But
Or you
There
can.
is a list in the book.
Right.
In
Yeah,
today's
there.
book there.
yeah, I just didn't want to type it in case I messed something up.
No, you're okay. You can put like parenthetical under your abilities tab next to deity.
Right.
Just it's not going to have any functionality. Just remind you.
Like I need any help reminding who my god is.
All right. So that did not work. So let me see if I spelled it wrong. I did. 1 second. Try that again.
I heard it something.
No. It cast. I think I should have said ADV spellcast instead of spellcasting. And
Oh yeah.
that should work. So I'm gonna update both of those.
Yep, worked that time.
Perfect. You guys are hearing that too, hopefully. So that looks like that worked. Yay. You should have heard that through your audio stream if you guys have the audio stream up.
Yep.
I love it when it works, Bryce. Doesn't always happen that way. I feel like there's always something that doesn't work, right? Not with Fantasy Grounds in general, just when you're streaming, something.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right. People are getting their stuff up. It's looking good. Awesome.
You hear me a locked thing, like. How much cash does this?
Oh boy.
Mendicant priest, apparently.
Yes, right?
15 gold.
15 gold. Wow.
Well then. Dooby-dooby-doo. Fortunately, rations aren't terribly expensive.
Yes, that's true.
$15 gold, Lord. My strength is not in my arms, it's in my faith. So
Absolutely. Thanks again, everyone. I know there's not a whole lot of action right now. We're just getting our characters rolled up and people are filling them out, and then we'll see if we people want to jump into a session or if they want to wait till we get a fourth next week. And if anyone is interesting, I'm going to be recruiting a fourth. DM me if you're interested in playing. For some reason, somebody signed up on Start Playing, and life happens, but they just didn't respond and no showed. So going to boot them out unless I have some message from them.
wow, looks like it must have capped my hit points too. Nice.
What do you mean? In the correct way, you mean? Capped your hit points?
Yeah, well, it's showing 5 hit points, so it must have rolled a 6 for me on the hit points because I've got a -1 con modifier.
It did. I saw the roll way back when. I think it did roll your hit points. Yep.
Oh, well, actually, looking at that, it looks like I rolled a 5, so it hasn't adjusted it down for my con modifier.
It may be that you rolled before you put your stats on. That's possible.
Yes.
And
okay.
and if you did, yeah, thank you. That's great that you just updated it.
So I can figure out what a dice button with init under it means. What's the DT?
Death timer.
Oh,
So yeah, if you do go down, you'll click on that, and depending on you'll have, obviously, as you know, you'll have a minimum of one, but it'll roll a d4 and then either add or subtract your con modifier, minimum of 1 round.
yep.
All right, we're getting closer to folks having all their stuff done.
I think I'm totally done here now.
Awesome. You might want to. Oh no, that's Duke's. Never mind. Yep, I think you're right. Looks good. You have a lot of languages there, Nightmare, for Jarek.
Yep, because of the class.
Nice. Oh, I'd forgotten. That's right.
Humans get like the common and one more, and then wizard get 2 rare and 2 common.
Very nice. So while Goatman's finishing, I know Bryce and Nightmare are done. We can start talking. I mean, look, we're about an hour and a half in. We only have 3 players. I'm more than fine just starting with 3. If you guys want to jump in, or if you want to call this a, hey, we wanted to create characters, we got other stuff going on, we can also call it when we're finished. I am totally fine either way. I think we'll probably have about 3 sessions, and we're already signed up for 3 full sessions. So whatever works for the group, I am more than happy to accommodate. And Nightmare, I know you might have a little bit on, if it's easier for you to like start in full and be engaged next session, I'm totally good. But like I said, I'm also happy to start if people would rather. I'll leave it.
I'm easy either way.
Okay.
Let me check with the wife and see, like, how long would you want to play? Like another hour?
I was going to say, if we play, it'll probably be roughly an hour and a half at most.
Okay, I'll be right back and I'll check.
Yeah, sounds good. For those watching, we'll see if we jump in or if we just call it a session with character creation. But it normally goes super quick. I mean,
Gear.
just been trying to give people time, and we'll update the character portraits next week for their actual character, most likely. Although they might die quickly, so maybe I shouldn't. We'll see.
So since it doesn't seem to take quantities into effect, like for things like torches, I'm just going to drag it multiple times.
Well, you should be able to literally. So the way it'll work is if you do put in 2 or 3, each one takes up a slot, but it should update the slots in use.
But if you only update the quantity manually as opposed to dragging another torch over, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't update that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Which isn't bad for
interesting.
torches, but that's going to be really annoying for arrows.
Well, but arrows, I mean, it's kind of like rations, right? Arrows, you should have, it's only 10 or 20 to a slot, right?
Right, but it means you have to drag it over 20 times.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out. I don't want, oh boy. And I'll have to ask, I'm going to write that note down for the team because that feels like.
I think one thing you could do is you could create a parcel that is a 10 or 20 arrow parcel.
Good call.
And then drag that. And I think that would update properly.
Probably.
I'm making a note, but maybe we can even do that as part of the core system, just like they did for the crawling kit.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you even need to do that. I think you might be able to because I know other rule sets have it coded so that as you increase it, it also increases the weight. So that might even be unintentional. It might just be a bug.
That's what I mean. I'm going to
rule
write.
set.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down and see if we can just do it to where if you manually update it, changes.
The other thing that's sort of an edge case, but if you're looking at a list of things to be adding, for something like arrows, like the one of the games I'm playing in right now, I'm a goblin thief, and I've got 20 crossbow bolts, but I also track that 6 of those are +1 and 4 of them are silver, and that can either be just tracked manually in notes, but if you were doing something, you might want to look at it. It would, it's too complicated to be worth it to have it be able to combine slots, the same kind of thing. So
I think I was wrong. I think I was wrong. It does update.
Okay. I thought it did because I thought I tried.
Hover over the amount of arrows and hold control and use your scroll wheel and watch your slots in use. As you go up, it takes slots away.
So maybe
but if you just type in
maybe
the
that's
number like 60.
So maybe we try it by starting with 1 and do the scroll, and then I'll also check and see if we can change that in the rule set, because that might be the issue. But that's good to know that the control scroll wheel works.
Yeah, that
it's
works
also
fine.
a relatively low. I mean, of the effort to value, it's not. There are probably things that are higher bang for the coding minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, at least we found out that it works on the scroll wheel.
I agree. I like that.
Scroll wheel works. That's cool. But then like if I enter in 100 arrows, oh well, it worked that time. So I don't know what I'd done.
Maybe
I remember it not working when I started too, but it seems to work just fine.
I wonder if sometimes if you're still in the cell and haven't hit enter or tab, like if you typed it in, but
maybe.
you know what I mean? You haven't moved away from, that input.
How do you delete something off of your equipment list?
So if you can do it a couple ways. There's a little edit list, like a slap. Okay, you got it. Did you get it?
I failed. I thought I had, but
so
you can just right click the item.
Yeah, that's
and
the
there's a delete button.
Yep.
In the little radial menu.
Got it. Cool.
And then if you want to do it like in mass, in the top left where there's a plus sign and then there's a slash which says edit list. And if you click on edit list, then everything's editable and you can quickly delete a bunch of things. So there's a couple ways to do it.
Three.
Unfortunately, I think I will say that I should take off and we can play next week.
That's totally fine. I mean, I think I wanted to make sure we got through character creation. So do me a favor and either now or in Discord, DM me which character you want to start with. So I'll use that as your portrait that lights up. So just let me know which character you want to start with next week and we'll start officially. We'll jump in next week. And if you want to drop,
we'll just go with Gallon, the fighter first.
Are you going to use your priest there?
He's going to do. All right,
so use my mage.
All right. So sorry, give me the names again so I write them down. So Nightmare, which one are you? Which one are you using? What name?
Jarek,
okay. And let's see, Goatman, which one?
Dukasov, Hazard.
Okay, got it. All right, so anyone that wants to jump off now, go ahead and feel free, and I'll just, we'll be ready to go. I'm excited to jump in next week, but feel free to jump off. But Goatman, I'll hang on and keep the table up, and we can keep talking to finish your character. So anyone that's ready to drop off, and we'll see you next week. Looking forward to it.
I noticed my dice are over top of my advantage and my bonuses. Is there a way to move the dice? Because I can't figure
Yeah,
it
if you
out.
hover over right next to the D20, if you hover over that blank space, a little little padlock icon will appear. You can click on that, and then you can move the dice anywhere you want.
Yep. And you can also, if you don't like the size, if you want a bigger or smaller, you can also, I can show you how to do that. But if you just need to move them, just what Bryce said. All right, guys.
Just don't click on the individual die like
Yeah.
I did.
Right,
Click on
right.
the outer
Yeah,
frame
it's
around
it's just this little space between the or right before the D20.
And you
How
can
do you
even
actually move them after you do that?
Then just
There's a rectangular frame that appears around all the dice. Click on that and slide it.
yeah, just think of it like a window, and you just kind of click within that window without, yeah, and you can move it wherever.
yeah, just
Okay,
make sure you're not
I
clicking
got it.
on a die, because otherwise you'll grab the die.
I got it. Thanks for the help.
Yep. And if anybody wants to change, I saw one of you had your dice changed. But if anybody wants to change their dice or their colors, it's up in the top on the sidebar under tools. There's a D20 icon. You can go in and pick from whatever dice you have available. Which I think the element basic comes free with everybody. Plus, you could just change the color of it.
Yeah, that's important. Just it's kind of nice to have everybody be a different color, but
No, we're all going to be black dice with black text.
I've
so
had that
nobody
before.
can read anything. We just have to rely on the chat output.
I've had that before where people haven't. Yeah, exactly.
All right, but I'm going to hop out now. I'll see you
Sounds
all
great.
next week.
Sounds great, Bryce. Thanks. Good to have you. We'll look forward to next week.
Take care, Bryce.
Bye.
Bye.
Meeting you.
Yeah, I think I've got the different.
I'm not sure what else I need to do on him.
Let me look at them and see if there's anything. The only thing you might want to add languages to your notes tab for whatever languages you do have with. But yeah, I think you're getting close to done.
Don't type it in. Find it over here. Where were languages? Under story?
It's under notes. Sorry. You mean where do you find what you have?
Yeah.
I think if you go to your main tab under human and click that.
Now, where do I drag it over from?
Oh, there's no dragging. You have to type languages in. We don't have those as you just have to type in the language.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something where I had to type it in, drag it over, so your translation stuff would work.
No, as long as you type in the name correctly for language, you're good.
Do you see anything I'm missing there, Gwydion?
Let me look. Do you have any? I don't see any character effects, so I want to make sure that's correct. And if it is, then you're I think you're okay. Let me just look and see if you get any other. Yeah, I think that's right because you got stat increases. And what was your talent choice? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Oh, you did advantage.
I did a spellcast
for cure wounds. That's right. No, I think you're good. I'll look at them again offline and just add your portrait. And again, if you guys want, if you find a super cool portrait, just message me in Discord. But if you could do it, like, just try not to do it the day of, so I want to set up my stream to have your name of your character and those kind of things. So if you find a cool portrait,
Today at 11:59 p.m. it is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, if you want to do that now, and
is it okay if I like pick a different picture for the stream for the voice thing there?
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, if you know what you want there, I was gonna try to use your portrait, but yeah, anything you want, I'll be happy to update.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that and the portrait for each of the characters as well.
Yeah, great. And you do that, and then it'll make it easier. You just try to make them maybe a little more of a landscape, so that it's easy for me to upload, if that's all right. But yeah, whatever you do as far as what you want on stream, that would be great. But whatever you do, I'll be able to work with in GIMP is what I use. cool.
Well, flint and steel. I need to be able to light stuff. I don't have flint and steel. Oil.
Yeah, anybody who's just jumping on, we're wrapping up character creation. We're not going to start session 1. We'll wait for next weekend. But we've got our characters ready, and we'll be good to go to jump in next week. Looking forward to it. So you're welcome to stick around. We'll just have a little bit left of character creation, and then we'll drop it off.
6 more gold. Unless you see anything else on here, I think he's done.
No, like I said, unless you want to drop an interim picture on, you don't have to though. But that's the only thing I don't see yet for Dukes of. So I think otherwise you look good. Duke of Soft. God, I'm gonna have to remember that. Duke of Soft.
It's all right.
It's an uncommon name. It's, if I remember right, is that like, is it Middle Eastern, or I don't quite recognize the ancestry there.
Actual question, or
no? I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing.
Okay. I'm assuming that you.
Yes, I liked the series. Let's leave it at that.
Well, and the same thing with Levitov Ever.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Sorry, Levitov. Sorry.
I'm just gonna call him Levi, though. You told me I could do Levi, so that's
exactly.
All right.
I'm not creative enough to come up with actual, names on the fly, but I can mangle things that already exist in the world.
I like it.
What was I doing? I was doing the picture thing.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing, and I think everyone looks pretty set. I'll look one more time. You might want to make sure in your main tab, because I think you tested Cure Wounds and you might have failed. It's grayed out. So you might want to make sure that you toggle it back on, and then you can then you can toggle it to combat and make sure you see all your spells active. Because right now, Turn Undead and Protection from Evil and Cure Wounds all look grayed out. So you might want to. Yeah, there you go. Now you're good. Okay, yeah, it looks good now to me. Maybe it was just a glitch. I don't know. Cool.
And so then to cast it, once it's what, click on the arrow, or?
No, to cast it, you'll click on the little use it. If you hover over the die where it says use power, and it'll roll. And as long as so in that case, you made your roll, so it's going to stay active. If you failed.
Right.
Yep.
And then were you going to try and build in the advantage on it, or?
I built in the advantage to Cure Wounds. So if you see the little effect icon underneath Cure Wounds, you can click on that first, then you roll, and then it should roll with advantage. There's other ways you can do it. There's an advantage button on the bottom, but I kind of like doing it that way. And yeah, so it looked like it rolled fine.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
Awesome.
I think it's next week, right?
Next week, same bat time, same bat channels. So yeah, thanks guys. If you need anything in advance, just hit me up on Discord. And in the meantime, I'm going to delete the guy that initially signed up. I think I can kick him, and then I'm going to work to find another guy. And if not, we'll play with 3, but I'd like to have 4 if we can. So I'll try to recruit a 4th in the next few days.
Sounds good.
If you find a 4th or you need me to help set them up and all that, just let me know.
Okay, great. I will definitely let you know. Sounds good.
And do I need to just click on
so
X to close Fantasy Grounds, or is there any way one should
normally
cleanly?
Normally, that's a great question. Normally, anywhere on the table, just right click and then hit exit session. That's usually the best way. I don't know that it really matters, but I've always been told right click, exit session rather than a hard close.
Okay. I
All
figured
right.
that oftentimes there is a. That's why I asked.
No, thank you.
I've
And,
done
and
enough programming in my day to know that one. So
absolutely.
I
Awesome.
didn't want to, X out and suddenly like have it not save everything we just did.
No, that it won't do, but it's still best to do it that way. So awesome. Well, we'll see you next time, Goatman.
Radio. Bye bye.
Awesome. Yep. Nightmare, anything else from your end? All right, sounds good, man. Take care. We'll see you next week. I'm just gonna wrap the stream and see you next week.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good here. As far as I know, let me know otherwise there, and I'll connect to you when you bring it up.
Sounds good. All right, man. Have a good one.
You too, man.
All right, guys. Well, we got through session 0. We got our characters. We are going to play. It looks like Duke's Off is going to be our priest, and we're going to have Gallon, who will be I think he's our fighter. So if I can move this down, it opened. There we go. So Gallon is going to be our fighter, and then we have Jarek, who's our spellcaster. And I am going to be looking. Unfortunately, we had a player that, again, these things happen, but a player who signed up and just didn't show. So I am going to reach out on both probably Fantasy Grounds Discord as well as my Discord, and on the Start Playing website, and try to recruit a fourth. But yeah, anyone who wants to pop on, we'll do this for the next 3 weeks, starting next week, hopefully, and run through Lost Citadel. And I'll go through this on the next session with everyone, but we'll try to do always on initiative. I want to make sure that works well with folks, but we'll do that. And we'll re-roll the initiative before each counter. And what else? I'm just going to remind people that running is an option. They don't have to fight everything. In fact, they shouldn't fight everything. Lighting's a real thing, so they will have disadvantage on all checks for light sources. And I'll give you guys a preview of the map and what it will look like before we start next session. So it might take just a second to pop up. Relatively large map. I added a bunch of things to it to make it look nicer, hopefully, to people. There we go. So this is how it's going to look like to me. And once I drag on the characters, so let's drag one of the characters on right now. And if I look at them and enable line of sight and then preview, they're not going to see a thing until they light a torch. So for now, I'll show you what that looks like. But you can see I've added a bunch of things to it. The players themselves, if I take off the GM layer and make that not visible, then this is what they're going to see. They won't see all of the different information and notes about the map. But yeah, looking forward to it. So we will start next week. So until then, if anybody has questions, or if you're watching this live, then please feel free to sign up or DM me if you're interested in playing, because I am going to look for one more player. So feel free to DM me on Discord. So that's it. I'm going to wrap the stream for now. Thanks again so much, everyone, for popping in to watch our session 0. And I hope you follow our sessions as we get through the Lost Citadel for Shadow Dark. Thanks all. Until next time.